Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Disco Elysium, shall we? Now, good friend Rob pointed out that I was extremely lucky making that jump with our character earlier. And if you miss the jump, there's a whole kind of interaction that happens after that that is, a little bit negative, and then you can try it again because it's a white check, but you can totally get through the game without making that. That's not something that you have to do. And I'm just going to progress because you can get back here eventually without doing it. It just takes longer. All right, so the banner sags under the weight of rain and snow. White waves on red.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
It's easy, Leo.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Evrart.
The tiny man is so engaged in his work he doesn't notice you. Don't interrupt him. No, let's say hi.
Evrart, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. No, of course not.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for you to answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
I do know what you mean. What you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
He waves at the containers towering behind him. So I can make this logic check, but unfortunately, in my Let's Play, this was easy, because logic was something my character was good at, because I went for a more intellectual detective. This guy, the blunt instrument, is not smart. So I could try this, but it's a red check, and it cannot be tried, and, I need to roll very, very well on this. So I'm just going to skip it because it's a red check and say, let me ask you about something else.
Sure, mister. About what?
Where is everyone?
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in.
He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrart is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate.
He pauses to think.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrart sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
Uh-huh. He stops but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus and his friends get into?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
He smiles and leans closer.
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something.
Uh-huh.
I heard Mr. Evrart telling them to take some time off.
But what'd they do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Uh-huh.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the Hardys.
Yeah, the Hardys. So, the Hardys are an important group for us to find out information about, and Easy Leo here is kind of a little bit loose with the lips, wagging his gums and giving us all kinds of tidbits that we might want. Too rowdy. Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary like the one hanging in the tree behind the hotel?
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Do you work here?
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo.
Okay. The little man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture.
I'm like Mr. Evrat's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Evrart is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Miss Beaufort.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
The lieutenant looks up at Leo.
A real pretty lady with a skin like those douce sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Who's Miss Beaufort?
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Evrart put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure. If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
I think you're doing a great job here, Leo.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
The lieutenant smiles at the little man.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really.
You didn't think it was possible, but his smile becomes even wider.
Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
That's right, man. What's in the container over there? Point to the container suspended from the crane arm.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for the leader of the dockworkers union.
Oh, you want Mr. Evrart then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood.
He coughs, then continues immediately.
Guys like Mr. Evrart and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Evrart and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where I could find him.
Oh, Mr. Evrart is where he always is. In his office, of course.
He points to the 2 joint containers on your right. Okay, I'm off.
Bye-bye now.
Alright. So we got a little experience from Easy Leo, and we can walk in and talk to the big boss man. The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. So I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. When I played through the game before, I got here much later because I did not make that check. So it's interesting if you do make it here early and you get information kind of out of sequence. Like, some of the stuff might not make sense because we really haven't explored the town and talked to everybody yet. And it's such a well-made game. I'm just kind of seeing what happens if we do it in this order that we have found, right? Because we just happen to be able to jump and get over here. A stair made of pallets leading up to, well, our good buddy in his throne. A taxidermy fish that tells time. That's great.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are you in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny chair opposite to his giant desk.
I'm Evrart, Evrart Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
No, I don't. Thanks.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
It does.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best.
That's right.
Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
So, he called us Mr. Dubois, and that is the first time, I believe, so far, that we've had information about potential name for our character. Now, we don't know if he's accurate with what he's calling us, but he did just call us Mr. Dubois, and our inland empire is triggering. Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
Continue.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
I don't sit. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves.
I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level.
Oh, really?
Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Oh, wow.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Yeah, he's exerting his dominance over us. Fine, buddy. I'll take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
He gives you a sly wink. Remain serious, try to wink back, or damn, this chair is uncomfortable. We gotta be serious.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
So we're taking damage sitting in the torture device folding chair.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
So what Evrart is revealing is a lot right here. He's a smug guy, and he is apparently very well informed. Like, somebody who was over at the Whirling and Rags relayed information to him about Gart giving us a rude reception. So he's got some kind of like eyes and ears inside the lobby or roundabouts the Whirling and Rags. So we need to pay attention to this. He's got little birds everywhere.
This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
So he's trying to buy us off.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
You know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
So I could say thank you, I could take it, or I could say keep it, I'm good. Now, We're going to say keep it, I'm good. I'm a policeman. I can't accept a check. But you could do whatever you want. I'm not going to leave and just tell him to, shove it where the sun don't shine. Keep it.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then.
He crosses his arms on his ample midsection and sinks further into his chair.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Sorry, Kim. Yeah, I lost my gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear.
My morale.
Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
Indeed.
Oh God, why didn't you think of this before? Cops have guns. Where's yours?
This doesn't worry me at all. Who cares if I've lost my gun and the love of my life? That's right. Oh God.
Despair.
My morale.
To you. Getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now.
Yeah.
You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
No, I'm not going to quit. So my only options are to say I don't care. Let's have a dark moment.
He watches you melt down stoically from behind the lenses of his glasses. Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now.
Uh-oh.
Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman."
Oh boy.
When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. "It's because the Furrows lost that match," said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. "It's because he couldn't get a big gun from acquisitions, and anyway, police work really burns you out after a while," Satellite Officer Jean-Vic Mayer, the deranged former cop's partner, commented. Sergeant Mac Torson, another former colleague, did not propose any theories, merely saying, "Whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all."
Right. Okay. So, not a great outcome because Evrart took 2 morale in that conversation from us. And sometimes, if this happens, you might say to yourself, I'm not ready for this conversation, and I need to come back, or you need to take a different tack. So I'm going to just kind of load our game and pick it up where we were. So, let's see. It looks like we need to talk to my man again.
Container.
And we're just going to quickly go through this.
Mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, just some of the other guys. Oh, I'm just making... Sure, mister. Oh, we're on a strike.
We're just going to skip through his dialogue so we get all the information again.
Got into some drunken trouble and... him and his boys stirred up something in town. I guess the boys...
Easy, Leo.
Too late. Now he's talking about...
Oh, that one. Yes. I'm like Mr. Actually,
Who is this?
a real prick, but I can't listen to the radio. Oh, Lizzie, but she's a... If me Mrs. Doctor... So.
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really... Oh, you want... Guys like Mr. Evrart is... Bye-bye now.
So, now, we can go back and try again. And you'll have to do this if you die from either losing all of your morale or all of your health. The game autosaves pretty frequently. You just load it. But what I like to do when this happens is make sure that I do the same conversation choice. However, if you didn't like what happened or you want to try to get new information, you could pick a different option.
Before you, with great effort, he straightens.
Welcome, Mr. I'd offer you.
He looks at
You go ahead.
whatever. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from them.
Please,
It's nothing. Yes,
very well. Should you find.
you're no Titan affiliation.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. So tell.
The chair you're sitting.
Oh, by this, it should be
Wow, that's 25.
Okay, now.
The world is open.
All right, so what we say is, instead
didn't
of the
you
second
think of
one,
this
just
before?
pat your pockets. Okay, so pat your pockets
Spirit
doesn't work.
creeps into you.
So we realize that meeting Evrart right now is going to be too much of a shock to my system with only 2 morale, because he's going to tell me that I've lost my gun, which my character can't really handle. So in that case, we're going to just say, if this happens to you, and it's happened to me in my previous game, where you get to a place where it's like you just can't make it through the conversation, what you want to do is go, we need to buy an item that will restore our morale in the conversation or increase our morale and come back later. So, let's go in this door. Now from here, we can work our way back to where we were. And this is like what a cool little space. The radio is emitting strange buzzing sounds. Okay, great. A giant ass print on the pillow and a pattern of coffee rings on the armrest, indeed. Alright, what's this?
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change.
So I'm not going to use the phone, but there is a payphone here. There's a little magazine here. And this is Book La Fume, Volume 1, Number 4. So we're going to take it. Kind of look around this room. Someone left the coffee machine on. A Dewey typewriter. The model name is on the back. Every worker equals member of the board is written on the top of the flyers. Okay. It's like a union office or something. There is a postcard that we could sell. And in the bathroom, maybe we could find... exactly. So this is what we wanted, which was magnesium. We could potentially use this magnesium... and some shades to get through the Evrart conversation now, because we could heal 1 morale, but if he damages our morale again, we would die. Now I'm going to go into my inventory, and we don't have any glasses on. Now this would give us a -1 to drama, but a +1 to visual calculus. So right now, I'm not going to put these on, but if I'm in a situation where I need drama, then I put those on. Or I'm sorry, visual calculus. Let's see. Okay, let's go down here. So we looks like this is locked. We can't make it. This door is locked and can not be opened from this side without a pass card. Ouch. Well, we need a pass card. We can't get out here, but we can enter here. So the question is, you know, how do we escape this place? How do we get out? Alright, come down here. And we can operate this.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. Two with a loud grind. The crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Okay, so we're moving this big crate back. Okay. Good. Maybe.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled.
Its purpose? What do you mean?
Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
Yeah, okay.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it because now this crate is down here, and we can try to get inside. Now he said it was empty. Easy Leo
Before
did.
you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
You do? Because I don't.
Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
So I could say it was hanging from the crane. It just feels special. Maybe there's contraband in there.
There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Knock on the
No
door.
reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container.
Open it.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
So I could use rhetoric at an impossible check to persuade them to open. So I was hoping it would be a physical thing, because that's what my character is good at, but somehow I need to use rhetoric to persuade it to open, which seems preposterous. However, we can also use this and see what the other
Roasting control panel.
What does this do?
Does not return to its
Okay.
original.
So now the container is stuck here. So I believe we need the pass card to get out of here. And we got some items that we can interact with, like this book. And it says the leading intellectual...
The front
Here we go.
of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why antlers?
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
A shameful way to treat a former king, even one as underwhelming as Friesel.
Why Friesel?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Flip through the pages.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
So this is Disco Elysium, and you can dive down deep into this lore and potentially find information about the story, but also things that can develop your character for better or worse. But I'm going to put it away for now, and we could come back to that later. We have a few things that we could sell, but I'm going to go back inside here really quickly, and it looks like we didn't interact with this. The drawers seem to be locked.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
Ah.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Open it.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
Browse.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Alright, so this is an even check. It's white, so I could try it again. It's volition. I'm not necessarily great at it.
All the lines
We
on
failed
these
it.
papers are how unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
Alright, fine. If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, they all start melting into one another.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there?
Let's just, yes.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
I'm going to try it again. I got a plus.
Whatever's
Yes.
hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
So you could see that basically what I did there was I failed my check, but I exhausted all the dialogue options, and we got into this moment where we got a plus and got to re-roll the check again because we, tried focusing by not focusing or whatever. Look at the note.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Evrart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Evrart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners.
So Leo left this unlocked and left this note.
All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Look, Kim, a to-do note with a list of errands for Evrart.
Evrart Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. Leo must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
Not necessarily, but we did get 5 experience.
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood?
Take another look.
Remember, Leo, Evrart, all items on the list have been crossed out, and
Close the
the
drawer.
slides shut smoothly.
Alright, so we found that as some extra information, and we could interact with this, lose some real, and see if it does anything for us to help, maybe open the door or something else. But we might need to go talk to Evrart Clare, and we can do that in a way with this extra magnesium to give our morale a boost to see if we could proceed with the conversation or find another way out of this area. Nevertheless, we're making good progress in the game and seeing what happens if you actually die and pass out, and how the game just lets you reload. But indeed, you can die from having your morale collapse on you. Everyone, I hope you're finding this series to be useful and fun. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.